We can think of a couple reasons why it's called the Book of Moses. First of all, it is a book. And so there's a very real sense that the Pentateuch is 5 books with their own unique message and outlook, but it's also one book, kind of like the Lord of the Rings. It's published in 3 books. Each of those 3 books has 2 books, Fellowship of the Ring, books 1 and 2 of the larger story, and so on and so forth, all the way to the end. But the Lord of the Rings really is one book. And the Pentateuch has 5 books, but it's also one book. It tells one story. It's a coherent whole. So that's one reason it's called singular Book of Moses. And the Moses part is significant too, because it tells us that Moses is behind the Pentateuch in some way. And we're not told all the details. We know he would have researched Genesis. He wasn't there. And we also know that Deuteronomy records 3 long speeches by him, so we don't know if a scribe recorded that or if he did later or how that all worked. But Moses is behind the Pentateuch, the authorship of the Pentateuch. Now there's a passage at the very end of the Pentateuch, Deuteronomy 34, 10 to 12, the last 3 verses of the entire Pentateuch that tell us something about Moses. Here's how it says. And there has not arisen a prophet since in Israel like Moses, whom Yahweh knew face to face. None like him for all the signs and the wonders that Yahweh sent him to do in the land of Egypt, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land, and for all the mighty power and all the great deeds of terror that Moses did in the sight of all Israel. Well, that tells us that Moses is the greatest prophet in the entire Old Testament. And if Moses is behind it, it lends a certain massive authority to it. So it's a singular book, and it's also Moses is ultimately the author, the one behind it. We should listen to it.